refinery, even at the half capacity, is now importing crude oil from Brazil, from Texas in America, and all over the world, wherever it could get the crude oil from. Isn't that even like really mental? It's crazy. So now they are now telling you that Dangote refinery is not a charity. Same politicians. And then Dangote is now battling with the supposed government that was supposed to protect him and his business, because Tifnumbu's interest in this whole thing is personal. Everything else is political. If Dangote refinery should be allowed to have access to crude oil, which is not available, access to crude oil, and begin to refine and produce every day, and then cut off all importation, right? That simply means that Ohando would have to close shop in their way of crooked ways, or their criminal ways. Normally, Ohando shouldn't close shop, just go on and buy from Dangote. But no, how then would they collect subsidy? Because that subsidy would have to be paid to Dangote. Now, it won't be paid to these oil marketers anymore. So that subsidy, the market, everything will now come to Dangote. No, it's not going to happen. They won't let that happen. But who is going to pay? You. So they started a campaign of CNG, this IPCO. I think it's called IPCO or something. There's a company, this Indian company, that is currently, they've given them the, the contracts. The contracts to help convert your cars to CNG, compressed natural gas. So, Amagbewale, Elofokambale, all that nonsense is now a mirage. It will no longer happen.
Once epo àwọn at the 200, at the Bible.
So rather than Biwale, they are now asking you to convert your generator, convert your car, convert everything around you to CNG. And these guys, NIPCO, are the ones who got the contract. So with this, to Tifnumbu, these ones are not, they are not competitors to him. Sure you get? On the issue of petroleum, this and that, that is for Ohando. And there's nobody that will change that. Dangote can wait until when maybe another government that will be sympathetic to you takes power. But as long as it is Koolu, Dangote is either going to sell his refinery to, that's one thing though. This one is my own projection. Last, they think probably force Dangote, make him sell it, because that's the only way probably the likes of Tifnumbu would allow Dangote refinery to work and stop importation as we speak. They were supposed to stop, they told you they were supposed to stop importation the moment Dangote refinery start working, Abi. But rather, they have quadrupled it now. So maybe they are going to force him to sell to Wale Tinubu. Yeah, they will sell the refinery. You know, it's built in Lagos anyway. They will force him to sell it as maybe scrap to cut his own losses and say, how much do you want? Let's take it from you. You cannot be in competition with Tifnumbu. There's no way. You can't. Ask everyone. Ask around. Dangote paid $100 million for the land in Lagos. But Tifnumbu's ass leakers are saying Tifnumbu gave Dangote land in Lagos. Until Dangote came out and said, no, they didn't give me anything. I paid $100 million. The people they collected their land in Lagos for Dangote, they did not receive a shishi. They did not receive kobo, dime. They told them that Ogun State of Irokunle Omamoshi, Amosu, denied Dangote because Amosu was asking for $50 million before he could give Dangote land. So Dangote approached Tifnumbu, and guess what? He ended up paying $100 million for that Dangote land in Ibeshe. The people of Ibeshe, that they took their land, $1 they don't see, $1. Today, they have sued Lagos state government when they heard that Dangote paid them $100 million for that land. You know what happened after? DSS have arrested the member of the family. They have sued Lagos state government. You have not heard much of it because they have killed the news. DSS have picked some of them up. God knows where they are right now. Yeah, true story. Go and Google it now. Google it now. Check it. After Dangote made the announcement that the people that were supposed to protect his business, that Nigerians have suffered too much. Yeah. Remember that drama then, right? The family heard about it. And they came out and said, they told us that it's for development. So this guy paid money. You don't give us anything. You took our land. We are taking you to court. 2 days later, they picked all of them up. All the family members that their name appeared in that court case, DSS picked them up to Abuja. Nobody has heard from them again. Yeah, nobody has heard from them. So what they will do to Dangote last, it will sell it as a scrap. They go for any 10 billion. We can write you a check there. They leave the refinery and go back to Kano. You will see. That's one of the things that those who claim to be the elite in Nigeria, who always love to look away when rogues like Koolu and others are seeking power, because to them, they are government, they are friends of, they're like Ajip, they call them Ajip or Agip, all government in power. Here you get, because to them, it will never get to them, it will never reach them. Now the poor people go, they suffer, they can't suffer. Now you have seen somebody who is so selfish enough that he would love to own the whole world because he wanted to satisfy the American, because it's like an American asset now, right? In case if you don't know. So because he wants to satisfy his American friends, right? The ones that are keeping a compromise on him, he called out and he awarded a coastal road or a coastal highway project to nowhere. A project that nobody have access to any details of it for $15 trillion, $12 billion to his own friend, Shaguri, right? All because they wanted to, build one fancy, sort of a fancy road to their Eco Atlantic, a place that is going to become inaccessible to you, ordinary Nigerians, as time goes by, right? You will not be able to go there anymore. Or you would have to go there with a pass. And once they are done building that part, the rest of the money is gone. And those of you in Calabar, you can keep waiting for the super highway coming your way, because it will never come your way. So similarly, Tifnumbu and his gang would eventually, have Dangote to say, you know what, if you really want to cut your losses, right? Just sell us that will be the time that Nigeria will then stop importation of this petroleum product. For now, what changed when Tifnumbu said subsidy was gone was that now people with the collect them then, they were gone. The new guys who are collecting it today, no competition. So that's why Tifnumbu has now, he's saying now that if you cannot afford 1,200 naira per liter, then you should go and change to CNG. Meanwhile, from Tifnumbu to your lawmakers, senators, reps, governors, their commissioners, all of them, they are buying themselves V8 SUV cars. Abi, SUVs, you know, V8 engine, that are guzzling petroleum like it's water. They are not changing to CNG because it's all free. From the bulletproof SUV to the the fuel that they are going to be consuming, it's all free. So you will pay for them. It's not really free, but really, but you pay for them. So they now send this madman. You know that guy that went on Channel's TV the other day? Yeah, it was also on Arise TV yesterday, blaming all this, is blaming the manufacturers in a country. It was the same guy who said Nigerians are wasteful when it comes to electricity. Country that they said needed over 40,000 megawatt of electricity to function is barely producing 5,000 megawatt or generating 5,000 megawatt electricity, distributing less than 2,000 megawatt electricity. The guy went on TV and said, Nigerians are wasteful when it comes to electricity. They need to cut down. Well, it was on Arise TV too yesterday. I need to warn you in case if you get so pissed off listening to this. I was.
You see, when people finish dying, that we will understand that these reforms are killing people. Because I get what you're doing. I get the trickle-down economics. The currency is cheaper. There's been a devaluation now. But the argument is it never trickles down. The deregulation... That's not true. No, hang on a minute. And I'm going to give you a empirical stuff.
Okay, tell me.
Under Reagan, when Reagan deregulated the oil sector, America pushed up child poverty. The contestation between the Republicans and the Democrats all these years has always been the case of trickle-down economics that never really trickled down.
It pushed up child poverty in the short term.
And I get this.
But if you look in the 90s when Bill Clinton came, you saw the reverb effect.
No, because Bill Clinton pushed forward to more growth.
Because he had the fiscal room to do so.
More capital injection in the economy. He brought about more projects. He solidified
because he had the fiscal room to do so.
Industry. But it doesn't go to the poor people. So when you look at it, I get this. Yeah, money is cheap. It's going to favor you people. It's not going to favor the poor people out of the street.
I don't think that's true. Let me
poor people out of the street.
Let me do some math. Let me just do some math. Right?
Yeah.
$10,000, right? Of investment into the country at 306, right? Is about 30 million, if my math is correct, right? The same $10,000. I'm sorry, it's not. It's about 3 million. Sorry, at the time, 306 naira to the dollar. That same 10,000 at 1,670 is about 16 million. At the old minimum wage, which is where I personally have my own quibbles, we need to raise the minimum rate so that employers learn to be more productive. Labor wages are too cheap in Nigeria.
Manufacturing is saying they can't even pay.
They need to automate and hire less people.
No, wait.
They are not innovating.
No, wait a minute.
That is their problem, not the government.
Wait a minute. Did you see the minimum wage conversation when it was going on?
I did.
Manufacturers and employers of labor said they couldn't even pay. Even this 70,000 is a struggle for them because, one, you have no economic fecundity. There's no economic viability as we speak.
It's not true. The costs are high.
They
are not innovating.
The economy is doing so well and people are doing so well.
No, it's not about the economy doing so well. Yes. It's about productivity.
Where's the productivity in the economy?
Well, it should come from the employers. It should come from the business people. They are not doing their jobs. Look, let me finish my math argument because there's a tendency to make arguments that are skewed to one side, but not to actually think about the economy in a macro sense.
Show me the productivity.
So, no, just listen to me. At the new minimum wage with 60 million naira, you can employ 85 more people than you would at a 30,000 minimum wage with the new exchange rate. What we need to
discounting for inflation?
Well, we're not. Inflation is a function of supply. It's not a function of money. If you like, create as much money as you like.
Just land your point.
So my larger point is, at the end of the day, the economy needs to be more productive. The employers are not as productive as they need to be. That's why they're hiring people. The people themselves are not as skilled as they need to be, which is why we have this problem. The exchange rate will not fix that. Even if the exchange rate is 1 naira to $1, these issues will not go away. This is hard work. Employers must do. Manufacturers must do. The schools, the universities must do. They must move with technology. They must increase productivity. The exchange rate is just baselining us with the rest of the world. It's allowing us to be globally competitive. And this is important.
Okay, let me just ask you, well, global competition has its own issues. With all that crisis in Kenya and all of that, I don't know whether you want to address that.
Yeah, Africa is learning the hard way that it has to be globally competitive.
Yeah, but my question is,
how do you become globally competitive where, as a manufacturer, to start with, as a manufacturer, you do not have a cheap, or should we say, even if it's not cheap, you do not have, you do not have access to cheap power. You have to, let me put this camera out. You have to provide your own electricity. In this instance, where the criminals even provide you electricity, you have to pay through what is called your nose. And blaming them that they should be more productive and at the same time they should innovate is, how do you innovate where you have a lot of supposedly unemployed people that needs to be employed in this regard, Abi? And the cost of production in itself is just out of the roof. What is mostly killing businesses, where manufacturers are saying they are finding it difficult to keep up, even to pay salaries, okay? To pay the salaries of the workers is becoming almost impossible now. Where you used to pay, put it this way, where you used to probably pay 10,000 naira, right? Now I want to use real math. Let's use 200 naira per liter of petroleum, or where you had 1,000 naira for diesel, okay, to provide your own electricity. And then today, a liter of petroleum has jumped to 1,000 plus for a manufacturer. That is like cutting deep into your running cost on its own, right? And then you have workers whose pay can't really take them home, so to say. Sure, you get. So you have these workers that are either underpaid or unpaid at all, but to keep yourself floating, to keep yourself still functional, right? You have to cut deep into your running costs, as it has been for so many in that place. So some businesses are unable to. So if you now said you want to innovate, for example, let's say you want to probably like computerize your operation. So that means you would have to let some people go. Happy? Or if you'd have to hire people that would possibly have much skills. I mean, it doesn't really make sense. I'm trying to kind of make a point out of what that madman tried to put out there, okay? Because let's say I have a factory with 1,000 workers, and the economy, the inflation and the rest of that has eaten so much into our operational cost, so to say. And people who used to get paid, let's say 100,000 naira, when before this inflation got this bad, we are still paying them 100,000 naira. Remember, they've been with us and they have all the skills that we need in that place. So if I want to innovate, is it just to go and hire new guys who would have new skills that I believe if I had that skills to my business is when my production will jump, or if I pay my staff more and I can't pay them more since my running cost is now more or less like has jumped by maybe 500%. So that means I will either cut down the workforce so that I'll be able, if I want to pay more, okay? So I will either cut down the workforce, maybe by half, so that I can increase their salary to match the inflation that is now existing, Abi. Then another thing, depends on what you are producing as well. You need, the business in this world is about demand and supply. Sure, you get. The demand will determine the supply, so to say. Abi? So more people have become poorer these days, that the purchasing power of the people have been so ruined and destroyed. Not to talk of the exchange rate, which is also part of it too. So people's purchasing power has been cut down so much that businesses are not really being patronized as they as they were used to anymore. So a business that will now survive under this kind of situation, which no, I mean, as I put it, governments cannot be blamed for this, but government policies have brought about all of this upon these struggling businesses. Okay, so if the demands are so reduced, inflation has jumped so high, and as a business you are struggling, so what would innovation do in this whole thing? I'm just trying to kind of like see if I could make a sense out of this and maybe push out a question. Do you understand what I'm trying to kind of do here? Let me try again. Let me try again. Because maybe I was so raging listening to him enough that I was like, man, you are supposed to be a tech guy, okay? Back in the days, this guy was with Pastor Ruga, among those aspire to perspire. Aspire to Maguire and to acquire, all those nonsense, motivational nonsense. He is one of them. So Nigeria Naira lost its value, lost over 1,000% of its value, like shrank so bad, right? That businesses, they have to pay to run their business or to keep their businesses running right now. They have to pay like times, maybe times 6, times 7 of what they used to. Meanwhile, out there, people have become so poor, right? That patronage, which is the demand, is very down. So every business in that country can tell you how much patronage has been so reduced, right? But you still have to keep your production up, Abi. Then at some point, your production will have to reduce as well. So who would you probably put the blame on, even if you want to innovate? Innovation means you probably have to do something that will cut your cost, Abi, cut the cost of production, and then increase, your output. That's something that would be like innovation. To innovate, Abi. So more and more people have become sort of laid off, jobless in this regard. So the economy is at its lowest as we speak. And the government that is making all these policies have to be exonerated, and the whole thing should be put on you, the producer or the manufacturer and the rest. So as a business person, listening to somebody that says it is your fault that your business is struggling, even if you try to borrow, or what do you call it, borrow to continue to produce, and then the people that you are producing for can't even afford. Yeah, they can't afford to buy what you are producing. How long do you think you are still going to keep that production without cutting the size of your workforce? Because the situation right now is that businesses are dying, not only struggling, a lot of them are dying. And as businesses are dying, jobs are dying too. So that obese mofo is on TV. I don't know, maybe he's doing a spin job for Tifnumbu as we speak, but it's just the second time. So he said, even if the exchange rate is 1 naira to $1, the point is this: it won't be $1 to $1 naira to $1. right? Even if the business, even if the exchange rate is 2,000 naira to $1, right? If the government policies is out there to continue to stifle businesses, so production will remain low, and the people that you are producing, because every production is for consumption. I mean, it's for people